Hello Libra, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. If Libra is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. And if there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards. Use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Libra, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. First card today is that Ten of Swords. Very interesting. I feel like we are getting out of some energy that's not working for us. And that is always a great thing. I think there are major shifts coming. And look at that, right into the Fool energy. So whatever's been restricting us, whatever's been holding us back, belief system, attitudes, energies, the environment, we're getting out of that. We're experiencing some kind of freedom. There's a shift toward this Fool energy. I think that's really, really spectacular. I believe, we're going to see a lot of air energy today. But that's a good thing. I'm going to go right into all of this water energy. So the air and the water, I think, are very important. There's obviously a lot of air, a lot of water. It might be really, in a large way, about the integration of thought and feeling, right? Well, let's select our mystery card. And this is from the Smith-Waite Tarot. We're just going to select one card. We'll set it down right here. We'll put the alien right on top, and they can go right over there. And we're not going to look at that card until the end. And that card, hopefully, will tie everything together and, give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. So let's take another look here at what we have. Let's straighten up these cards a little bit. We've got major arcana. We've got a lot of major arcana right here. And this, just the way these three cards are, this divine energy is coming down, things are changing, and we're moving forward. We're getting the inspiration from above to make changes right here, right now, today, and get to our future. So this is just these three major arcana cards are talking about a really significant shift for you. It is about kind of changing our life in some way, changing the way we're doing things, changing the way we are experiencing the world, right? And then we've got all of this air energy, right? So we have we have like this corner of air, and we've got this corner of major arcana. This is kind of cool the way that is formulated, the way this looks, right? So we're getting away from this kind of wall, right? We're breaking this wall, and we're opening up this path here. We're opening up to new things up this way. So we're kind of, we're switching rooms here, right? This is really cool. I like this. I think that there are major shifts coming. And we see water, water, earth, and water. So it's about getting out of this air energy that's keeping us restricted, keeping us down, preventing us from fully activating ourselves. And then it's kind of doing the same thing with the water energy, right? It's learning how to transform the negative experiences, the swamp, the uncertainty, the tumult, the turbulence of our emotions, converting that into holy water, right? We're going from swamp to holy water. And this is really nice. Let's start with this Ten of Swords here, right in the middle. I think we're breaking out of this paradigm. This is the old way of thinking. This was some situation, maybe this was our career, maybe this was our relationship, our way of experiencing the world, our internal kind of paradigm, our inner monologue even, just this system of beliefs and habits and tendencies and ways of thinking, ways of perceiving. We're getting out of that. We've been restricted. Whatever we have been doing in our life, or the way we've been doing it, or the way we've been looking at it. There's my cat to confirm everything. She's extra loud today. Interesting. She must be right behind me here. Maybe she'll come and make an appearance, or she'll stay back there. She's kind of shy. I notice she never jumps on the table. She never tries to get in my lap when I'm doing these readings. She'll just stay off to the side and just kind of meow at us, which, take it or leave it. I'm sorry if you don't like it or if the sound bugs you. It is what it is. She lives here too, Anyway, the Ten of Swords, getting out of this old way of restricting ourselves. This could be denying ourselves experiences. This could be us rejecting cats, for whatever reason. This might be just this kind of the life that we're used to. We've built these walls around ourselves. This is what is comfortable. This is what we've done year after year, day after day, life after life. It's time for change. It's time for fresh air now. It's time for this Fool energy. Let's do something unexpected, right? Let's take a deep breath of some fresh air. Because I feel like the Ten of Swords is stagnant air. This is an atmosphere that is stifling. It's suffocating, okay? Again, it could be a job, career, could be a relationship, but it feels to me like it's almost our disinclination to try something else. Yeah, whether it's career or personal, private, romantic, doesn't matter. It's our reluctance to go outside of our box. This past cycle of readings, we talked a lot about the gilded cages that we create for ourselves, right? I don't remember if that was for the last Libra reading or not. Maybe. It might have been. But regardless, the Ten of Swords is kind of that cage that we've built for ourselves. Mentally, spiritually, emotionally, whatever. Where we feel like this is our life, this is what I like, this is what I'm comfortable with. I don't care about what's out there. I don't care about novelty. I don't care about experiencing new things. We're done with all of that. This is some freedom. The Fool energy is the bird outside the cage, which is risky. You keep a bird as a pet. You don't want to just let it go outside. There's a lot of scary stuff out there. There are hawks. There are cats. There are pitfalls, right? There are risks and dangers. The Fool is the exact opposite of the cage, okay? The Fool doesn't know any kind of boundaries. The Fool doesn't know any kind of restraint or organization or it doesn't know to be afraid of anything, right? The Fool just says yes to everything, wants to experience everything, just flying around free. Doesn't know that there are dangers out here. Okay, so while this is representative of the kind of shift that we're making, we want to be smart about it, right? We want to be discerning. We want to have this solar energy. So it's not enough to just get out of the cage and be a free bird. Great song, by the way, but I can't listen to it anymore. It's not just about being free and flying around outside the cage. We've got to be smart. We've got to have discernment. We've got to have a path. We've got to evolve, right? It's okay to be a free bird, but you got to go somewhere. You got to have some place to fly to. And incidentally, we're flying toward the sun, apparently. But this is flying toward your true self, flying toward your true path, what you are meant to do in this life, right? Your true self. The sun is the physical representative of the spiritual sun, right? And the spiritual sun is the kind of the symbolic manifestation of the universal mind of God, goddess, deity, right? This is soul. This is your soul, right? So this is what we're flying to. This is what we are becoming. This is the path now that we are on as we have made this shift outside the restrictive paradigm that we're in toward freedom, toward our soul. Okay? We still have these other air energies that are trying to pull us back, trying to keep us in the cage, right? And this one is the recent past. This is perhaps a history of toxic relationships, We see some other indication of toxic relationships. Toxic, when we look over here on the path of the serpent, we get to toxic emotional relationships. This is almost like being bullied. This is almost, which again, that's emotional too, for sure. I mean, I know I was bullied as a kid. Can you believe it? This is the feeling that we have tried to get out of the cage before, but someone said no. This is us, just in experiences, maybe in your career, in your job, right? Someone always kind of telling you what to do. This is the lack of freedom. This is saying, look, you have a well-defined role. We just need you to come in, do the few things that we've asked of you. Don't try to innovate. Don't try to do anything creative. Just do what you're told, right? This was a lot of, I think, being told what to do. And I think that over time is something that could, I don't know if this happened, but it could drain our power, drain our confidence, put us into a defeatist kind of mindset, into a weakened position, kind of, I don't like that. So we need to get out of this cage too. This is the cage of past history tendencies that are still kind of present. We have to try to get away from these. So the shift is taking us out of this kind of thing. And right along with that, I think these two really are together here, the 5 and the 7. Because the 5 and the 7, they're not forms. These aren't cages really. These are forces that are keeping us in the cage. Right? When you start trying to pick the lock of the cage, these are the two functions that kind of slap your hand away or put some new string around the cage door or something so we can't open it. The 10 here is an even number. It represents a form, a state, an object. This is the noun. This is the cage. These are the forces, odd-numbered cards, the forces that are keeping us in the cage, right? So the 5 of swords, and then the 7 of swords, which goes hand in hand with the 5, and this is kind of the resistance that we meet when we try to do something, we try to get out of the cage, we try to resist the kind of consensus or the status quo. We try to go against the grain. This is the resistance that we're met with. Okay? We're getting outside of this. We're transcending this in such a way that there's no friction, there's no resistance now because no one is even perceiving that we're doing this. It's happening on a higher plane, right? It's happening on soul level. 5th, 6th, 7th dimension stuff, not just on this table where it's maybe 3 dimension, but more 2 than 3. These forces are just trying to prevent this little bird from getting out of that cage. I like to shake the cards like we're in an iPhone here. So the 7 and the 5 are those functions that we are trying to escape from. We're trying to break free from those or get away from those so we can get out of this cage. And then we're really doing the spiritual work now. So we'll kind of leave it like that. We're getting away from these. And I don't know exactly what these are. I feel like this is something that's kind of, currently it's this is underneath everything, right? This was at the bottom of the path of the dove. So the 7 of swords is kind of like an unconscious tendency that we have to stick with the status quo, to take the path of least resistance, because it's easier to just go with the flow, right? Rather than trying to do anything that deviates from the given path. And then, of course, the 5, I think, is a history of this kind of almost being overpowered or being overruled by other forces. But now this fool is free. Now the fool is free to explore, to experiment, to fly. We've got to try to avoid danger, though. Okay. So this fool needs a direction. It needs a place to go. It needs some kind of direction. And it's good that we have the Chariot up above everything. The Chariot is some very well-organized energy. The Chariot is kind of, it's almost like the fool is riding in the Chariot. The Chariot knows where to go, right? Maybe it's the the chariot of the sun. It's kind of trusting intuition, trusting higher power, trusting instinct a little bit too. But an instinct that's free from everything else that was down below, right? That this stuff was what was kind of containing your instinct, your unconscious kind of will. Yeah. So with the chariot now, it's trusting that the universe is taking us where we need to go, right? The fool is not capable of making up its mind. It's just, it is pure mind, right? So it's kind of like no mind, you know? It needs the direction. So we're in a car that is a self-driving, fully autonomous vehicle here. You know, we've got ourselves a Tesla or whatever. And it's taking us where we need to go. And this is our trust in spirit. This is the preparedness. We've got our seatbelt on. We know the airbags work. We're ready to kind of to take this journey toward our future, toward our soul, our true self. Now, we don't know exactly what we're going to find when we get there. But I guarantee we're going to be happy when we do. Okay? Especially when we look at the path of the serpent, we see we got that 10 of cups at the end. Well, that's fantastic. That is, in some ways, though, we can look at it like this. We've got a 10 of swords, we've got a 10 of cups. Is the 10 of cups another bird cage? Is this another cage, an emotional cage that we've got this, maybe this is the spiritual or intellectual cage. We're getting out of this, right? The fool's getting in the chariot and getting toward our true self. We're getting out of that cage. And then maybe the same thing is happening on the path of the serpent. These are the emotional forces, physical and emotional forces, that are keeping us in this spiritual/emotional cage. Maybe it's literally the same cage, but we realize we get out of one room of the cage, we think we're free, we think we're flying towards our soul, and then we realize that we're still in a cage, right? So this could be kind of the twist at the end of the horror movie when we thought we've escaped, but we really haven't. I think what it's really saying, though, is that this is a mighty fine attainment, but it's not the end of the path. There's always going to be a bigger cage around us, and it's our work. It's our spiritual journey to get out of the cage. We get out of one cage, we make some progress, we realize, oh, hey, we're up against some new bars. Must be a bigger cage. Let's get out of this one. Then we fly around, we expand, we make progress, then we come up with some more bars here. Must be a bigger cage, right? And on and on and on into infinity. There's always a container, right? And it's always our work to get out of the container. I think this is very interesting. Major shifts going on. Major shifts. But let's start at the bottom of the path of the serpent here. I don't want to make this video too long. We're not going to deal with every single cage, but we'll go at least from this cage to the next one. We've got a 5 of cups. We had a 5 of swords over here. This cage that we got out of had that 5 of swords. Now we got this 5 of cups, and I think this was more about our personal life, private life, our relationship life. Could be some history of, emotional manipulation, gaslighting, being made to feel as if you were wrong for wanting something else. Yeah. Making you feel as if you were harming somebody else by asserting yourself, by standing up for yourself, by wanting something else. A lot of that kind of stuff. We don't need to get into the details of that, because this is just one of those petty little forces that are trying to keep us in the cage. Okay? Trying to keep us in the cage. Now, the next card is an 8 of cups. If it was a 7 of cups, then we'd have something that would be truly unbelievable. I think this is already pretty unbelievable, but we have the 5, the 7, and the 10 over here. We have the 5, the 8, and the 10. It's almost a perfect a perfect mirror image here. You know, we're close here. But with the Eight of Cups, it's in the position of the environment. This is, sometimes we think, God, maybe life would be better if I did something else. Maybe I would find more meaning, more connection, more love, more joy and beauty if I took that path over there. You know, if maybe the grass is greener over there. But then sometimes we think, no, it would just be the same old grass. It would just be, you know, it would just be in a different place. It would just be a lot of work to get over there, but it'd be the same grass. So this is kind of convincing ourselves that there's no point in trying because nothing's going to improve, right? To me, this feels like a loss of hope. Feels a lack of excitement, of motivation. What we really need here is some fire energy. Maybe the mystery card will be some fire. Maybe the sun really is the fire that we need. Maybe this perspective, when we can refocus our energy on the spiritual journey, and this perspective will allow us to see what the grass really looks like over there. Maybe it's not just grass. Maybe there's a playground. Maybe there's a pool. Maybe there's a whole carnival going on over there. But we can't see it from here. And we're unwilling to take the difficult journey. Look at this, 7. The 7 of Pentacles right there. It's the only thing really interrupting this perfect kind of balance that we have here between the two paths. Is this 7. We're unwilling to do the work. We don't want this. This is hard work and no guarantee of results. The 7 of Pentacles really is a card that implies failure. It literally is saying you're going to do a lot of work and you're not really going to see much gain from it. Not material gain. Maybe we are not considering the fact that there's going to be spiritual benefits to doing this work. This would really be us making that long journey, climbing the fences, walking off into the distance to see what is on the other side, to see if the grass really is greener over there, or if they're having a carnival or a parade or something. But this is the card that we don't want. It's in the position of what we don't want, but it's what we need. We need to do the work. We need to experiment. We need to go out and fail, looking for our parade, right? Even if we don't find it, even if, well, that path wasn't it, even if we try something different with our life, different type of relationship, different career, different studies, we make these changes. We embrace these shifts in perspective, in our spiritual path, in our life path, even if the results or the benefits aren't readily apparent. Okay? It's still part of the work. Not to really be concerned with, am I going to find the parade, but just the idea of, I have to do the work, I have to climb the fence and go walking if I'm ever going to find a parade anywhere. You know, we're not going to find it if we refuse to go out and do this difficult work. Now the next card is this 10 of Cups. That is the other set of bars that we encounter. This is us doing this difficult work. Maybe we find a parade. Maybe this is our carnival. This is the park, the swimming pool, the really nice grass that they have over there. Right? We like that 10 of Cups. This is really nice. We've made it. We've attained it. This feels really good. But your spiritual journey is not over. This is another set of bars. And I don't really like this metaphor. I said it in the past videos. I don't like using this cage kind of metaphor. But I feel like that's appropriate though, you know? And we get to this next cage, right, to the outer edge of this cage. Maybe the bars are so far apart that it's so easy to slip through. But I don't know if you've ever had a bird as a pet. My parents did, and that's why I don't believe in having birds as pets. If you do, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to offend anyone. It's just personally I don't want to have birds as pets. Because we have cats too. I don't think they'd get along. birds really, like, even if you have a cage that only has like 2 or 3 bars on it, they'll stay put, right? They'll stay put. The bars can be so far apart that they can just literally, maybe 2 at a time, they can walk out of there, but they won't. They won't. And to me, that made me think about life, when I was a kid, like, why don't we just go? Why don't we just go outside? Why don't we do it? Well, maybe because they realize that, hey, it's safe in here. It's warm. There's food. There's water. My friends are here. I'm staying. It doesn't even cross their mind to try to squeeze out between the bars. They don't even have to squeeze. They could probably go full wingspan through the bars. I think a lot of the time we get stuck in that kind of way of thinking, right? Because this 10 of Cups is really good. This is all our friends are here. There's food, there's water, it's comfortable. We feel like we've made it, and indeed we have. This is some really holy water. This is going from a bad situation to a very good situation. But this isn't the end of your road, right? If you choose to stay here, well, that's perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with that. But it doesn't have to be. These are bars that they may be pretty far apart where you don't even see them in your periphery. You don't see that there are 2 bars over here. I can barely see like that. They're so far apart that we don't see them, so we think, this is freedom. I'm going to stay right here. We're not aware we're in a cage. Maybe if we did a little sideways, little lateral movement, then we could see, okay, hey, wait, there are bars here, I don't know. Let's look at that mystery card, though, yeah? I think that's a good idea. Our alien friend has done quite a good job of keeping an eye. Whoops, he fell over. We're still trying to name the alien. We've got some good suggestions. Mork. I like Bowie. I actually really like Simon. But keep them coming. If you have suggestions, leave them in the comments. Eventually, we're going to get a name for our little alien friend. And we'll be done with that. But mystery card. I don't know. Something maybe to represent maybe a 6 of something, right? Or another 10, obvious. That would be pretty on the nose. I think a 6 of something would be good. Or if we had another major arcana, I think that would also be very, very appropriate. Maybe a Hierophant. We had the Devil. Now, the Devil is very interesting because this is kind of like this, it's us thinking that we are stuck here. This is almost kind of like knowing we're in a cage, but not realizing that we can just walk right out. This is like a cartoon, right? Where they're in the cage, they're in the jail cell, but they don't realize that the door's not even locked and they can just come and go as they please. But they stay here and they suffer and they worry and they fret. And that's kind of the Devil. And that's where the Devil kind of, the shadow side of the Devil card anyway. Because there's no card that's inherently evil or bad or anything, or inherently good. Every card has its light and its shadow. Okay? So we look at the shadow side of the Devil, and this says, hey, you're stuck in this cage. You're chained here to this life and this world and this material body, and this is where we're stuck. But on the other hand, the chain isn't even connected to anything. The door's not even locked, right? So it's the means of escape right there available to you, but no one's going to tell you. Yeah. Something for us to discover. And I think part of the work is discovering that. That nothing is so fixed that we can't improve ourselves, our situation, our life, our family, our loved ones. If we don't like where we are apparently chained, let's go. Let's do something. Okay. We're going to go and do an extended reading. If you would like to stick around, just click up here. Libra, that'll give you access to all of the extended readings, not just for Libra, for every sign. I really encourage you to cross-watch. Check your other placements. Okay. Hit the like button, leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't yet. I want to thank you for taking this journey with me. And thank you for being the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot.